Feeling a little nervous about middle school? No need to be, because you've got this. And today I'm going to help ease your mind about it. Stay tuned. Hi, I'm Dr. Hill and welcome to the Turnaround Room. First, I want to say congratulations to the new 2020 fifth grade graduates, those that are moving on from elementary to middle school. I know middle school is something you've been looking forward to, but now that it's time to go, you might be feeling a little nervous. Let's talk about it. Is there any reason to be afraid of middle school? Absolutely not. No, it's not. You're probably thinking about how big the campus is. Yes, it's probably big. And what about those big 6th and 7th graders? Well, yeah, they're a little bigger than you because they're older than you. They should be a little bigger, right? Yeah. And you're probably thinking about how many classes am I going to have? How many teachers am I going to have? Am I going to like them? Are they going to like me? Do I get a locker? Do I have to dress for PE? Well, I don't know, but we're going to talk about all those things right now. Let's start first by talking about the campus. All right, the campus, it is big. Well, bigger than your current elementary school, but is it bigger than your local high school? No, probably not. Is it bigger than the mall that you frequent? Well, before COVID-19. No. Is it bigger than the amusement park or sports stadiums that you've been to? No. And you seem to have maneuvered those pretty well and gotten around without getting lost within a short amount of time because you're here watching this video. So I know that you did that well. So just like you learn how to get around those places, you will learn how to get around your new middle school campus in no time. In about 3 weeks after being there, you'll have it locked down. Furthermore, 6th grade is typically in the same wing. You will probably have your history and your English class will probably be in the same hallway. Your math and your science will probably be in the same hallway, probably in the same building, typically. And sometimes you may have the same teacher for 2 subjects, so that cuts down on some of your teachers. Now, you will probably have to go out of the building for PE and for your elective, but you'll get that. That's no problem. Okay, number 2. The big kids. Let's talk about those 7th and 8th graders. Are they bigger than you? Of course they are. They're bigger because they're older, but they were once 6th graders. Now they're 7th and 8th graders, and they're a little bit, just a little bit wiser. They have a little bit more experience. They went through the same thing you went through, and now they walk around a little confident because they feel secure in their new surrounding. But don't worry about that, because some of them, you know, your brother or your sister friends, or their kids who went to your elementary school. So you will see people that you know, and they'll be willing to help you. A lot of them will help you because it makes them feel good to know that they're helping you, the new middle schooler, get around the campus. So there's no need to worry about those 7th and 8th graders. Most of them are pretty friendly. Number 3, let's talk about your classes. That's the most important thing that you want to know about when you go to middle school. When you were in elementary, you were only in one class and you basically had one main teacher. In middle school, you will have 7. Count. 7. That's right. 7 classes. So you will have your core classes, which is your ELA and your history, your math, and your science. Those are your 4 core classes. And then you will have PE, you get an elective, and then you have something they call advisory class. In this class, it's short, it's 30 minutes, it's your homeroom, it's where you get all your information, everything you need to know about middle school, you'll get it in that advisory class. Now let's talk about your favorite class. Well, the subject that was your favorite in elementary, and that's none other than PE. That's right, PE. In elementary, you couldn't wait to have PE. You were always asking the teacher, are we going to have PE today? Can we have PE today? Well, you don't have to ask in middle school because you're going to get PE every day. And I'd be interested to know if PE will remain your favorite thing in middle school as it was in elementary. Just wondering. It seems to change when people get into middle school and high school. Now let me tell you why. Because in PE, you may have to dress. What does that mean? You may have to change your clothes and put on some more comfortable clothes to do the activities during PE. I understand in some middle schools it's no longer required. It's totally up to the school and the PE teacher. So when you get your classes, you will find out in that first week whether you need to dress, change clothes for PE or not. If you don't have to dress, you do at least need to change your shoes. And why do I say that? Because some of you out there, you guys spend a lot of money on sneakers, a lot of money. And you have a fit if somebody step on your shoes. So you probably want to get a change of shoes for PE just to keep your brand new Nikes clean. Another thing about PE. PE is the easiest class to pass, and it is also the easiest class to fail. I always wondered, how do people fail PE? Well, they fail PE because they don't participate. PE is physical education. That means you have to be active, you have to participate, and you have to be on time. Sometimes PE classes have 30, 60, 90, 100 kids in them. So one PE class could be equivalent to like 3 classes, okay? So your PE class is going to be very big. So once the teacher takes attendance at the beginning, they're not going to go back and take it again. So if you're not there on time, you may be marked absent, and absences add up, and that's what brings your grade all the way down in PE. Let's talk about lockers. Kids are always excited about lockers. Will I get a locker? Can I get a locker? Am I going to get a locker in middle school? Well, you might have a locker and you might not. It's up to you. Lockers are typically available. They will rent them sometimes for $5 or $6. You pay $5 or $6 and they give you a combination lock. You know, the locks that you go boop, 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 to the right, to the left, and to the right to open it up. So will you get a locker? If you want a locker. Lockers are optional. Some people like to have a locker so they can store all of their belongings in one place. If you can get a locker, get a locker. Now, let's talk about lockers. Lockers are there for convenience. How to use your locker effectively. Well, before school, you go to your locker. You put anything in your locker that you're not going to need for your first 2 classes, and you take the books and belongings that you need for your first 2 classes. You go to your first 2 classes. After your first 2 classes, then you have nutrition. At nutrition, you go to your locker and you change out the old books and you grab your books for the next 2 classes. And then you go to your next 2 classes. After those 2 classes, then you have lunch. At lunchtime, you go back to your locker, you exchange those items and those books, you get your lunch and what you're going to need for the last 2 periods of the day. So you go to your locker before school, you go at nutrition, and you go at lunch, and then you can go after school. That's the appropriate time to go to your locker, not after every class, because you're going to be late if you go between every class. Okay, guys, so that's your quick cheat sheet on middle school. Just some simple basics to kind of relax your mind and your anxiety a little bit about what's to come. It really is not that bad. Actually, middle school is very exciting. It's the next step in your academic career. If you learn to master your schedule, your assignments, your organization, how to manage your time, you'll be just fine. If you do that, it will help you set a great foundation for high school and to prep you for college. So get ready. You can do this. It's exciting. The next time, we're going to talk a little bit more about the day-to-day task and the day-to-day hustle of being in middle school. Some of the more relevant things that are happening in your day-to-day life in middle school. If there's something you want to know that we didn't talk about, put it down there in the comments and I'll look at it and maybe we'll talk about it next time. Well, all right, my Hilda kids, I will see you next time in the turnaround room.